Would I be the a-hole for refusing to go to my brother-in-law's destination wedding after his fiancée wore white to my wedding? My 32 female husband, 38 male, we'll call him Dan.
The name's Daniel.
Has one brother, 33 male. We'll call him Jordan, whom he has never gotten along with. Dan isn't much of a sharer, so I don't know all the details. All I know is that according to Dan and Jordan's aunt, Jordan was horrible to Dan growing up. Jordan is also notoriously disliked and is known to just not be a good person by just about everyone I've met that also know him. Their own grandmother warned me about him before we met. Now, Jordan is not unpleasant. He is a fully hatched bigot. But after a few drinks, I'm a tad more flippant with my opinion. Over Christmas, Jordan made a comment about people of other races not being real people. I lost it, but the meanest thing I said was, thank goodness you live somewhere your opinion doesn't really matter. They live in a very, very blue state. He responded that I didn't matter, lol. So I just got up and walked away to help his fiancée, 25 female, we'll call her Katie, wash the dishes. I apologized to her, in my mind having to deal with Jordan, but in her mind was for yelling at him. And she responded with something along the lines of, no, I'm sorry, I wish I believed in something that much. I thought that was a little odd, but we were all pretty intoxicated, so I just didn't pay mind to that comment. I also agreed to be nice to Jordan for the rest of the evening, mostly to keep my mother-in-law, who I love, happy. The rest of the evening, Jordan sulked in the corner, while Katie, my mother-in-law and father-in-law, Dan and I opened gifts, chatted, and had generally a good time, considering what happened. I just find it weird that you're the only one that's kind of somewhat speaking up in a very people-pleasing manner. Sometimes I'm around people that share like really strange opinions that are just like just sprinkling in some prejudice in there. Some background on Katie I feel is important to the story. She's one of those women that looks like a real housewife. Not in a bad way, she just looks all glammed up and she's always wearing designer clothes and bags and expensive jewelry. She actually looks a lot like a younger Brandi Glanville. Who's that? I love me some reality TV, but okay, yeah, I don't know who that is. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Got it. I like nice things as well, but I'm much more the type to live in sweatpants unless I need to go somewhere that requires real pants. She's also very loud and loves to be the center of attention. Meanwhile, I'm dreading my own wedding day simply because of all the people looking at me. Katie and I really couldn't be more different, and I didn't necessarily see it as a bad thing at first. But there was something about her that rubbed me the wrong way, and I just couldn't put my finger on it. I was a little weary of anyone willing to date someone like Jordan, fair, and I just had this weird feeling that Katie didn't actually like me or was trying to one-up me in some way.
You got nothing on us!
Okay, so she feels this way probably because Jordan and Katie got engaged 2 months after Dan and I, and set their wedding to August of this year, 6 months after ours. I've seen enough Charlotte videos to know that maybe I was just being insecure or projecting or something, so I just keep those feelings to myself and tried my best to befriend my future sister-in-law. But it just seems so odd to me because Jordan and Dan's parents have absolutely no idea Jordan was even considering proposing. Things started to get weird when I invited her to my bachelorette party via my maid of honor who was planning it, and her response was,
thanks, but I already celebrated her in Nashville.
Nashville was a trip where we were both invited with my mother-in-law to visit mother-in-law's sister and our future female cousins since they lived there. It was a semi-celebration for me, but more of a girls in the family trip, and I had absolutely nothing to do with it. But fine, we don't live in the same state, and even though my bachelorette was a local one-day thing on a weekend, I understand it's a trip for her and not everyone can take off work and afford to make the trip. I was still a little hurt, but again, I was willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. Keep in mind, all this was before Christmas, but again, after the blow-up, Katie and I seemed to be getting along fine. Surprisingly well, in fact. And I actually started to think that maybe we could be friends. Flash forward to Dan and I's wedding day. The wedding venue was laid out and I was able to see all the guests arriving and taking their seats from my getting ready suite. So I'm standing in the window watching people arrive, getting pumped to marry the man of my dreams, and in walks Jordan and Katie in a white dress. And we actually do have a picture of the white dress, so hang on.